Okay, so if you've ever spent hours, wrestling with an AI just trying to get it to produce the same kind of result twice, then you know the frustration I'm talking about. Today, we're diving into a tool called Prompt that claims to be the answer to that exact headache. So let's find out if it actually lives up to the hype. Does this whole scenario just sound way too familiar? You're a freelancer, maybe a marketer, and you're in a constant battle with your AI tools. You're trying to get consistent output, you're juggling all these complex prompt systems, and all the while you're staring down some pretty steep monthly bills. It's a huge pain point for so many people, and it's exactly what we're going to tackle today. A lot of people describe the current AI landscape as a minefield. And it's a great metaphor, right? It's just full of all these tools that promise the world but just don't deliver. They have these incredibly steep learning curves, and the costs even steeper. So you're left just trying to get reliable results. But the whole process feels chaotic and just really inefficient. So the big question is, how do you get through that minefield? Well, this is where Prompt enters the picture. It was basically designed from the ground up to be a direct answer to this problem, promising to bring some much-needed simplicity and order to all that chaos. Let's dig into how it actually works. So, what is Prompts at its core? Well, think of it as a tool that's laser-focused on structured content generation. The main goal here is to totally simplify how you manage and, more importantly, reuse your prompts. This way, you can get repeatable, high-quality results every single time. It's all about building a reliable system instead of just starting from scratch over and over again. And that focus on simplicity, it starts the second you sign up. We are talking less than 5 minutes to get up and running. Seriously, you just log in, plug in your AI model's API key, and boom, you can start generating really complex content almost immediately. It's all designed to skip that feeling of dashboard overload and just get you working fast. But look, speed is pretty useless without control, right? So let's pop the hood and take a look at the core features that Prompt uses to really tame the chaos of prompt engineering. Okay, at its heart is this really simple but incredibly powerful idea. The tool separates your prompts into two buckets. You've got prompt templates for those simple one-off repeatable tasks, but then you have custom prompt flows. And these flows, this is where the real magic happens. This lets you chain together multi-step sequences where the output of one prompt actually becomes the input for the next. This simple organization is honestly a massive win for managing complex projects. So to see how this actually works in the real world, the source material ran a pretty tough test, a 3-part client SEO content cluster flow. Here's how it went. First, it generated 10 article subtopics from just one variable. Then it automatically took the top 3 best ideas and created keyword clusters for them. And finally, using all that data, it constructed a super detailed 1,500-word blog post outline. I mean, this is a real-world workflow for any content marketer out there. And the result? It was a huge success. The tool delivered what was described as a professional, fully structured outline that needed almost no revision. And this is the key takeaway, right? It didn't just run one simple prompt. It successfully chained them all together, it enforced specific rules like word counts, and it produced a really high-quality final product at the end of the chain. Okay, so we've seen that it can perform. But for any solopreneur or small business, performance has to be weighed against the price. And when we start crunching the numbers on this lifetime deal, well, that's where the value proposition gets really, really interesting. I mean, just look at this. The cost difference is absolutely staggering. On one side, you've got a competitor like Velocity AI, which costs nearly $1,200 a year. And on the other side, Prompt's lifetime deal, a single one-time payment of just $29. The contrast really couldn't be any clearer. Let's break those numbers down even more just to let it sink in. Velocity AI is $99 a month. That adds up to $1,188 for just 1 year. With Prompt's one-time deal, your total annual cost is just that initial $29. That's a saving of over $1,100 in the very first year alone. Think about it this way. For way less than the price of a single month's subscription to a competitor, you get a powerful workflow toolkit forever. The return on that tiny investment is almost immediate, which makes the financial decision here incredibly straightforward, especially for a freelancer or a small team. So, with all of that in mind, let's get to the bottom line, the final verdict. Who is this lifetime deal really for? And just as important, who should maybe skip it? So, who's the perfect fit? Well, this deal feels like it was almost perfectly tailored for freelancers, content marketers, SEO specialists, and small agencies. Basically, it's for anyone who needs to produce structured, repeatable AI content efficiently, but without all the enterprise-level costs and complicated overhead. Of course, no tool is perfect, so let's be real about the pros and cons. On the plus side, you get absolutely unbeatable value, a clean and simple interface, unlimited prompt flows, and the freedom to use pretty much any AI model you want. But there are trade-offs. The analytics are pretty basic, team features are limited right now, and, this is a big one, you do have to bring your own API keys from a provider like OpenAI. That's an extra step and a small extra cost to consider. Ultimately, it all boils down to this one question. Pretty Prompt directly tackles that classic garbage in, garbage out problem by letting you enforce structure and precision. So is that level of consistency worth a small, one-time investment to permanently upgrade your entire content operation? For a whole lot of freelancers and small teams out there, the answer is probably going to be a resounding yes.